In a previous Consider This, we made the case that technology is a tool and not a teacher. Let's put a finer point on that. And that's the topic of this edition of Consider This. The fact is that a computer, iPad, game box, smartphone, or smart TV are not just tools, they're power tools. Think of a chainsaw, it's a power tool. You wouldn't give a power tool like a chainsaw to a child, would you? Of course not. Who would do that? But an iPad, smartphone, or other connected device are among the most powerful power tools on Earth. They can take you or your child anywhere. With them, you can explore the farthest corners of the globe. We can FaceTime grandparents and keep up with old friends. We can take vivid pictures and videos and send them anywhere instantly. Like other power tools, these tools can accomplish a great deal of work that we could not otherwise do. But just as these tools can multiply good and constructive things, they can multiply destructive things as well. You would not drop off your child at the red light district in your city, but with Google, they can go there instantly by clicking on a thumbnail video that pops up on their screen. Parents would not normally put their children in a situation where they're shooting, maiming, or raping people. But popular video games that are freely available to your child put them in those situations daily. You would not drive your child to a support group that encouraged a lifestyle of anorexia. Yet many young teens end up in these groups through a very innocuous keyword search on YouTube. So, how should we parent our children with regard to these power tools? The simple answer is that when our children are little, they need to be protected. When they're older, they need to be apprenticed. Let's talk about protecting first. When children are young, their interaction with these things should be extremely limited and supervised. Young children should never have unrestricted, unfiltered access to the internet, whether through a computer, tablet, smartphone, video game console, or television. This places a burden on parents because most of us have all these devices around the house. With a connected device, it takes a little more thought and skill to provide the protection that your children need. I've always found it challenging to figure out how to install and keep track of internet filters at home and on the various devices. It's a real pain, especially if you're not an intuitive technology person. But the alternative is not an option. If you have these devices in your home and you have children, then you need to have an internet filter system and you need to keep track of it to protect your children. If you need to hire someone to come to your house to set it up and show you how to use it, then so be it. That would be the most worthwhile use of money you have ever spent. The alternative is that anytime your child picks up your phone or goes on your computer or TV, they're a few clicks away from highly inappropriate content, pornography, images, and interactions that can have an enormous negative impact on your child. I don't say these things to generate fear. These things are within your control. You can control and set limits on the devices you own. Another practice is simply to unplug the internet when you go to bed. Most devices benefit from being unplugged regularly. Establish that practice at home. That also teaches your children the importance of life rhythms and habits, times to be plugged in, times to unplug. Another practice is for you, the parents, to sit down and deliberately think about how much time is good for your child to spend on a screen each day and week. Rather than just letting it happen, you as parents think about how much time is appropriate. Many parents decide to eliminate screen time altogether. Some limit it to Saturday mornings or 30 minutes a day or something like that. Whatever you decide, be intentional and deliberate in establishing screen times for your family. If you're like most parents, some of these things have gotten out of hand. Especially with virtual school happening during COVID, a lot of limits on screen time went out the window. A lot of healthy limits on gaming, social media, and just TV watching were neglected or lost. If that happened to you, you're not alone. But now is a good time to deliberately restore good, healthy practices in this regard. Perhaps a family reset is in order. We hope you find these thoughts helpful for you to consider. There is more to say on this topic, and we will cover more in the next edition of Consider This.